Hi, my name is Vaughn. So I wanted to make a blog or isn't it a blog? A video to help all the other people out there that might be going crazy. On being a stepmom. So maybe you're a stepmom or maybe you're a step parent. It's such a different family dynamic that I think a lot of times it's really easy to feel isolated and to feel alone and to feel like the rest of the world that are not blended struggle to understand you. But I want to let you know that you're not alone. And I wanted to tell you a little bit of my story. So when I married my husband, he already had 4 boys. 2 were teenagers. And the youngest, when I met him, was about 5. And then I had 1 child. And so we automatically were a family of 5 getting married. And, I never thought too much about it, to be honest. Like when we were getting married and dating. Well, okay, first I told myself I'll never date someone with children. That just sounds like a lot of drama. But then I had decided, well, maybe what if I like the children? And then sure enough, also my daughter prayed that I would marry someone with a lot of children. I was like, oh my gosh, God, please don't hear that one. But I met my husband at church and he had, he had custody of the 2 older boys. So I was like, okay. I liked them a lot. I liked all the kids. And I mean, I like kids. Kids are, people don't like kids. I like kids. And I think I was just so blindsided, y'all, on what everything was actually going to be like. And maybe you kind of felt the same way. Maybe you were thinking, oh, this is going to be like rainbows and butterflies. And first I only had living in the house, and we bought a house that is like 1,200 and like 95 square feet. So I guess compared to where you're at in the world, maybe that's an okay size. But it feels very tiny when you have a lot of people. So we bought this little house, a 3-bedroom house, and then the boys' mom gave us the other 2 boys. And I was like, okay, where are we going to put everybody? Because my daughter had her own room, and the 2 boys had shared. So I'm like, well, we'll put 2 more in the boys' room. And I'm like, well, then I felt bad that my daughter has her own room, right? Because you have to be fair, because you're like, can't show favoritism. But then there was also like, well, it's a girl and she's hitting puberty. And do I want for her brothers to be sharing a room with her when she's hitting puberty? So we did end up putting the littlest sometimes to sleep in there, or the 2 younger ones at times. But I was very against that, just due to the fact that we are a blended family. And it just felt just kind of weird, And I think that that's a lot of family dynamic can be when it comes to blended families that people don't understand. Sometimes there's just a lot of weird feelings and a lot of just not totally knowing how to respond to the situation. And so sorry, I'm doing my hair because I've got client coming soon, so I don't want to be looking too crazy. I went out and ran in this Houston humidity and I look like a squirrel that got electrocuted. So I'm trying to whisper some because my baby's in the other room sleeping still. Or the baby, she's 4. And so I think today I just want to talk about the first year. I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like nobody understood me, that all my friends were not blended families. And I felt like I just felt really alone. And I actually started to feel angry at God that He had allowed me to marry this man and that things were going crazy. But, you know, in the book of James, it talks about how trials, they change us, right? Trials produce, perseverance and character, and they're meant for good. Like, Christians are supposed to have trials at times, and nobody wants to go through trials. And I don't want to be like, oh, me and my husband was such a trial. But it was a trial in the beginning, especially. Not because of him, but because of, I think, the blending of the families, trying to figure out, how's this going to work? How are we going to do this? And I'll do another video on discipline. That was, I think, even to this day, that could be one of our hardest challenges. But the first year, I really struggled in my faith. I struggled in trying to figure out what God was calling me to. And I had no idea, y'all. What I tell you, the times I went on strike, the times with cleaning the house, doing laundry. Because I did, here's the thing, I'm an only child. I had one daughter, and I married a man. I had 4 boys. So if you can just imagine the blending. She was used to being an only child. I was used to being an only child and doing whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, because I was single. And I know that God began to break my selfishness. And no, I'm not saying everybody else is selfish when they get married. That was my battle personally. I was just so selfish and so self-centered. My husband would be, if he was here, he'd be like, yes, she was. And so I just want to encourage everyone today. I just want to make about a 7-minute video, that if you are thinking of being in a step family, or you already are in it, and just to continue to hang in there. And I'll have more videos on different things that's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, and what God is doing in me as I've been a stepmom. So, all right, y'all. Thanks. You can send me any questions you have.